Movement Mondays. Today we're talking about fear and why it is limiting you from actually moving forward with your pain or discomfort. Hey, my name is Dr. Antonio Gurley. I'm a chiropractor here in Boulder, Colorado, and our main focus is helping people with low back pain. We set this up in a variety of different ways to meet you where you are because the context of where you are might be very different from your neighbor or someone else who's experiencing back pain, right? So to say what they went through is not going to necessarily work for you. And fortunately, that makes it unique in that we can custom tailor a program to you. But unfortunately, what commonly happens is when you hear low back pain, you're put into a system or a protocol in which people assume that it's going to work for you because it worked for someone else. Now, while the majority of the principles for how we deal with low back pain is the same, especially when you're talking about a specific type of low back pain, for instance, trouble or difficulty bending over, depending on the mechanism of injury, etc. But what's happened now is we've been put into this system that has been fear-based. And what happens as a result of that is your outcomes are blunted because everything is driven by fear, meaning you shouldn't do these things or this happened because or as a result of this. And the reason why we wanted to share this is we recently had an experience with a patient who has had chronic back pain for over 12 years now. And everything she's had done to her as a result of trying to help her has been fear-based. Meaning, this is broken, it needs to be fixed. This is broken, it needs to be healed. This is broken, or you're doing something, or you're weak, and thus you need to do this. And more recently, she's seen somewhat good strides by going through a program in which was directed towards getting her stronger from like a more micro level on her core. One-on-one individual sessions for the last 3 years with minimal improvement. And the minimal improvement is more so because she's not doing anything that's actually progressing and helping her, indicating that she's in these one-on-one sessions and she wants to get into this group setting, but they're not allowing her because they said she's not ready. Thus creating fear, like I can't do this on my own. I need to be under 24/7 monitored, 24/7 monitoring so that I can do things appropriately. I can't do things at home because I don't know how to do them right. No one's showing her how to do these things. They're simply saying like, you need me to teach you how to do it right. How's that supposed to help anybody out? So if you're stuck in a place and you've been boxed by this because a provider or someone has told you something that has created fear in you, you need to find someone that's going to help you get outside that box. Someone that'll motivate you, someone that'll create a plan and a source of progress based on where you're at so that you can experience what it's like to have some confidence. The more confidence you have, the more you're going to move. The more you're going to move, the more progress you're going to see. And thus you start to see this snowball effect that allows you to go into the right direction rather than constantly just getting mixed up into this swirl of fear that's not allowing you to go anywhere. Now, we're not going through any specific movements right now, but this is very prominent in how our healthcare system is set up today. It's fear-based. It's problem-based. This happened. This needs to be done. While that is the case in some situations, what we start to see with the majority of our musculoskeletal complaints here in the United States and really across the world, the majority of them are preventative. Meaning, if we just do basic things, if we stay active, if we move, if we exercise, if we eat well, right? If we sleep well, the majority of these issues wouldn't be a problem. And the case goes for what we're talking about with lower back pain, it's 100% the same, right? Now, this individual had an incident 12 years ago. Just like many of us have, it's estimated that 80% of the population will experience some form of low back pain at some point in their lives. That doesn't mean something's wrong, right? She was lifting something, felt a tweak in her back, went to go get some help, and what was the course of care? You got x-rays. You have disc degeneration. This is verbatim from the story. You have disc degeneration. disc degeneration, then turned into facet issue. Facet issue was then turned into, well, you need an injection, right? First injection didn't work, so what did we do? We tried another injection. That didn't work, so we did another and another and another. Those didn't work, so then we tried physical therapy. Physical therapy didn't work, so then we tried Pilates. Pilates didn't work, so then we tried this. And all of a sudden, 12 years later, we're in the same position as really she was, now with zero amount of confidence in her own abilities because everything was based around fear. And then the question is asked, we're like, well, what do you want to be able to do? What do you want to be able to do in your life? That sets us up with a target and a goal. So this stands in where she is now. Right? Where she wants to be or her story. What do you want your story to be? Is your story going to be limited by fear? And rightfully so. I'm not saying that what she's experiencing should not be expressed. She's afraid because she has been told these things. So we're trying to stir up some confidence in her by putting her into scenarios or contexts in which she can explore and learn what her capabilities actually are. As she starts to do that, we start to break down this fear. The more we can break down the fear, the more confidence again she'll have. The more confidence leads her to go and bridge this gap from where she is now, exposing all the fears that she has to be not valid so that she can be where she wants to be. She can fulfill her story and not simply just live in this life of fear. So I encourage you, I really encourage you that if you are in this state, you're not done yet, right? There's still things you can do. When someone says, I've tried everything, you haven't. I guarantee you haven't. Because even if you tried chiropractic, or if you tried physical therapy, or if you tried yoga, if you tried Pilates, if you tried injections, right? Drugs and surgery, if that obviously didn't work, that's not the case to go, right? But if you tried chiropractic and it didn't work, maybe you just had a bad chiropractor. If you tried physical therapy and it didn't work, maybe you were put into a protocol and you didn't have a custom tailored plan to fit your needs. So to say that you're limited by fear because of what you've been told is valid, but we need to break that down. So where do you want to be? What do you want your story to be? You want the rest of your life to be this story of pain and discomfort and that you can't do the things that you want to do? Or do you want to keep pushing forward to try to find a solution to the problem that you're facing? So this Movement Monday is about breaking down fear. If you're experiencing it, appreciate it and accept it, but understand that there are ways to go beyond this so that you can fulfill the life that you've always had. If you have questions, reach out to a forum, right? A lot of cities now have Facebook pages in which you can ask questions. Who's experienced this? Who's helped you? Go through an interview process for your providers. You should be able to ask questions on what is the system and the process that you expect to go through if you're having this type of pain or discomfort. If you have questions and you're not finding the resources that you want, there are a ton of people online. That's the great thing about online care now is you can get help from anywhere around the world. If you have specific questions and you don't know where to go, you can always reach out to us, whether that be through our social media platforms, through our email, through our website, whatever that is, you can reach out to us. If you want to work with someone in person, we'll find a resource for you. And if you want to work with us through an online platform, we're more than happy to provide that as well because, again, it's not about the hands-on care most of the time, especially when you're dealing with the fear. Right? Most of the time, it's just breaking down and showing you and providing you opportunities to create more confidence so that you can, again, snowball in a positive direction rather than always just going through this negative feedback loop. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. I really hope that you take this to heart because so many of us are just feeling the constraint of fear as far as being able to move forward, to play with our kids, to play with our grandchildren, to go out and explore the world, to hike, whatever it is, whatever you want to do. What do you want your story to be? Don't let your story be limited by fear. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.